Oh, I'm in trouble. I done said too much, bruh. I'm used to trouble. 408, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Grandpa Tim, what's up? It's No More Donations. How you doing?
He called me Grandpa Tim. What's up, No More? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. You mentioned, I wasn't planning on calling in tonight at all, and you mentioned you didn't have any wine. I'll be honest, I've had a couple of glasses of wine, so we'll see how this goes. But I don't have anything prepared at all. But, I did want to congratulate you on being a grandpa. I believe you said again. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think you have maybe more than one grandchild. I do. But anyway, at any rate, congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
So around this time, we had Thanksgiving last week. And I'm going to, I hope Bree doesn't mind, but she and I had a conversation last week on the phone kind of about holidays and stuff like that. And, in my opinion, in my family, we never really celebrated like the traditional kind of Thanksgiving. It's more been an excuse for family to get together and stuff like that. And I don't have anything political planned for this call. I just kind of want to talk about family a little bit because I think it's kind of appropriate this time of year. It's kind of tough for people who've lost loved ones, or maybe they don't have family, and for those of us who do have friends and family that we can talk to, I think it's important that we reach out and try to strengthen each other. It's been a little over 6 years ago that I lost my dad, and it was around Thanksgiving time. So Thanksgiving is a little tough for me, but I'm thankful that I still have friends and family that I can get together with and still celebrate kind of the good times. So if you're one of those people that have that, great. And if you're not, I want to tell you I'm thinking about you. And I just want us all to kind of, we kind of want to be one big happy family, and that's kind of what I think of the Wolf Pack. My friend Bree is the one who introduced me to your channel, believe it or not, and I've been listening for a while and watching, calling in, and all that sort of stuff. And so, I don't want to get all touchy-feely and, have all these emotions coming out, but, I really want to express my thanks to you. That's my Thanksgiving. I'm thankful to have people like you who I do consider a friend and who is a voice, who is speaking truth to power. And there's not a lot of money in that, I know, but integrity, you can't put a price on integrity, I guess is what I'd have to say. So anyway, I don't want to get all schmoopy and all that and teary-eyed and everything. So I'm going to get off the line now. Who knows? Maybe I'll have another glass of wine just to kind of chill out. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody else in the Wolfpack had a great Thanksgiving. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, brother.
No doubt, man. Thank you so much. No More Donations. Give it up for that call. And it's an important phone call. It definitely is an important phone call, guys. And look, thank you for the respect, brother, on the baby, the grandbaby. It's my second grandbaby. My daughter is her second child, my oldest daughter. And I'll just say this. My oldest child, I should say, is my daughter. It's amazing, right? And look, just two things. One is I understand explicitly about people who have who have lost people and how the holidays makes them feel. There's a sister out there, I don't know if you're watching, but I know that she lost her husband. And when I put my video out, I put out a post about, being with my grandbaby. I said, I was very blessed to have the opportunity to be with her, to see her, And, as you get older, even though I'm not even 50 yet, I'm still older, right? I'm getting older. I was just saying how lucky I was. Then I felt bad no more because I realized that this person had lost her husband and he would never be able to see his grandchildren. And I felt really bad about that. But you know what? We have to enjoy our lives, and we just have to reach out to one another and be an ear and be compassionate and be empathetic to one another. You know what I'm saying? It's a delicate balance when you start thinking about other people, and you don't want to pull up raw emotions or hurt feelings. But I tell you, man, you're right about the Wolfpack, man. Sometimes I want to grow it. I want to grow it. I see other people doing these big numbers and they're doing all this stuff. I'm like, man, I could do that. And then I think my skill level, I feel like I'm just as good as anybody else, if not better. I mean, you got to have that. So I'm like competitive. I'm competitive and I want to grow. But you know what? I'm not obsessed. And I have to, part of the holidays for me is taking time and saying, you know what? Let me enjoy where I am right now. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be this. I want to be that tall. I want to fly like an eagle. But let me enjoy what I have now. Because 2 years ago, being where I am now was a dream. So enjoy what you have. Be thankful. Right? So thank you. No more donations. I appreciate you, man. That's what I tell myself. That's me talking to me. Yeah, so we're good. 408, that was 4. I have a... Did I take the 909? I have a... Oh, let me go here. I got a 603 number. 603, you're live on Freedom Friday. Hey.
Mary Rose?
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
You talking... Hi, it's Mary Rose. Hi, Tim. I love you. I love you so much. You're so great. And I'm so glad you took my call. I've got some information about Julian Assange that I think people need to know about if they don't already. First of all, Jimmy Dore did a show. It's called Guardian Busted for Bogus Assange Story. Excellent episode. Okay? Just put in on YouTube TJDS, the Jimmy Dore Show, Guardian Busted for Bogus Assange Story. Okay? He's being set up to get to the United States to be disappeared. Okay? And it plays, well, actually, let me back up a bit. Then Chris Hedges on RT America did a show called Crucifying Assange with Joe Lauria from the consortium. And there is, unfortunately, a part of the Espionage Act, an amendment that they've added that if there is possession, reception, or dissemination of classified material, it's subsection C 793, something like that. The UK can hand them over to the US, and on contact with Chris Hedges on RT America, Crucifying Assange, that episode talks about, it plays clips of Christine Assange, okay, and her passionate plea about what is going on and happening to him in that embassy in London, a torture chamber right now. And there is a fundraiser happening. He has amazing, outstanding lawyer bills. He's got lawyers in the United States. He's got lawyers in London. He's got lawyers in, I think, one other country that I can't think of right now. But he is trying to raise $300,000, WikiLeaks is. So it's at GoFundMe, and it's at WikiLeaks. And they've raised in 3 days from 862 people, I just refreshed the page, $38,230. We need to get the word out, okay? And if you watch On Contact, that show, Crucifying Assange, if anybody listens to Christine Assange and doesn't feel her pain as a mother, anyone as a human being, I don't care what you think of Assange, and I love the guy. I mean, he's exposed corruption like no other in history. We've got to do everything we can as activists, as, you know, I mean, the fourth estate, the media is doing nothing, and they're going to be next. And Obama's the one that laid the groundwork for this. And he's the one that has the sealed indictment against him. And he said, well, we can't do it because we'll have what's called the New York Times problem. In the show, Chris Hedges' show on Contact, Crucifying Assange, he's interviewing Joe Lauria. I said that already. Mm-hmm. And Joe says that that's why they haven't moved forward with it so far. But Christine points out that if he is extradited to the United States, he will either get 45 years in prison, he will be either, because of the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, disappeared, sent to Gitmo, tortured. They want his sources. And what they are trying to do is make it so miserable for him to live in the Ecuadorian embassy right now because of there's been a changeover and who's running it right now. And there's a great article by a writer named Gareth Porter about this, who says, yes, it's definitely a thing. They want, the UK wants money from the International Monetary Fund, and they want a relationship with the United States. Imagine that, of all things. Yeah, Ecuador does, I should say. What did I say, London? Oh, sorry, my husband just corrected me. And so they're trying to develop a good relationship with Trump, of all people. And sorry, folks, for anybody out there who supports Trump still. So, you know, contribute to his legal bills. Go to WikiLeaks.org and just donate money. They're not giving him food. They're giving him menial tasks to do. They're making fun of him for not taking care of his cat, which is baloney. Joe Lauria hasn't confirmed it, but they may have even taken away his cat. He has needed a root canal for years, going on 3+ years, a root canal. He has a heart condition that may be fatal. He hasn't had vitamin D, and it's going on 8 years now. He's been in solitary confinement. So I'll be quiet soon. I just wanted to put these things out there. People need to listen to Christine. And I want to say on Twitter, her account is called Assange Mrs. That is a legitimate account. All the other accounts that say Christine Assange are fake accounts, and they're very cruel. And I'd like to take them all down, but I don't know how to do it quite exactly. But I've been trying to. But at any rate, all right.
All right.
So, and her latest note, after the impassioned plea, complete impassioned plea, is on there from her. But there is a note that says, I'm okay, but I can no longer participate in helping my son. So basically, his entire family has had to change locations and their identities and things like that multiple times, just because of his courage as a journalist, one of the few outstanding journalists left. And you're one of them too. And let's just hope that the good, progressive journalists on YouTube, you know, they've already demonetized you guys like crazy. Let's hope that you're still standing after all is said and done. And I sure will do my best to do it. And I'm terminally ill, and I am very low income, but I will do whatever I can. And this is part of what I'm trying to do, is just by educating people this way. So keep doing what you're doing, Tim. You're great. You really are. And I thank you for your integrity.
All right. Thank you for the phone call. Thank you for getting the word out. I appreciate it. And it's now out. All right. Everyone who heard heard your comment, you just heard it. We got a couple people on hold. I'm going to say this, and you know, I've always been a supporter of WikiLeaks and a supporter of Julian Assange, and I will continue to be so. One of the things that has always bothered me is the hypocrisy of so many of independent media and of media in general. And the more you learn, the more disgusted you become at the complicity. We have a story such as in The Guardian that we now know is false. The major independent media entity, the Young Turks, is peddling falsehoods with that story. But they still get to call themselves progressive, and they still get the lion's share of subscribers and views from independent media. And they can sell out to that extent. And when I get tired of them and I call them out, there'll be people saying, you need to just get along, Tim. Why are you mad at them? Why are you always fighting one another? And it just really, it's like, right now, this negative story about Julian Assange is a total fabrication, totally debunked. They are peddling it just as hard, if not harder, than Rachel Maddow or MSNBC or CNN. And they call themselves progressive independent media. And they get to have Bernie Sanders on their show. And they get to have 4 million subscribers. And they get to have, they get hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just in donations. So it's really difficult for us to speak truth to power when so many of us buy into the BS. So that's part of my frustration. The other part of my frustration is there's so much injustice in this country. We have so many people suffering in the prison industrial complex. When I talk about those issues, some people who support Julian Assange don't support me talking about, for instance, Khalif Browder, who was 20 years old when he committed suicide after being incarcerated without a charge, without a court date, in solitary confinement for a year. And when I talk about stories like that, people who support Julian don't support those stories, but they support Julian Assange. Now, I support both, but it bothers me that the same people that say we need to fight for Julian don't fight for those people who are living under similar situations in this country, right now. And to even say what I'm saying now will have me lose subscribers, will have people write me long notes about I'm being divisive just for telling the freaking truth. Now, all that being said, I still support Julian Assange because it's not Julian's fault that there are people that would cry for him but wouldn't cry for Khalif Browder, who wouldn't cry for the hundreds of thousands of poor people in jail in the United States who are not even 18 years old. Therefore, stupid things like weed or unpaid traffic violations, jaywalking, all types of BS. And like I said, when it's brought to light, people don't want to hear it, but they want to hear about WikiLeaks. They want to hear about the injustice and what's going on with Julian. So we have enough bandwidth to do both. I do both. I implore you to do both. And to stop supporting independent media that behaves like corporate media. If it behaves like corporate media and peddles misinformation, propaganda, then you should treat them in the same way that you would treat CNN or MSNBC, because they themselves are also fake news. All that being said, do as the caller who just phoned up. Chris Hedges has an interesting piece, according to her, RT America, with Joe Laria, who I've met. Joe Laria, I did a show with Joe Laria on RT America. Of course, we all know Jimmy. She said Jimmy did an excellent segment on this. I did a segment today on Julian Assange. But please check those out as well. All right. Boop. This looks like a new number. Let me make sure. 111, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment? Hello. Hello. You're live on Freedom Friday. 11111. All right, 11111. 603. We got a couple of 11111s. I just want to make sure, as obviously these numbers are hard to determine who's who. I'll try this one. Hello, 11111. You're alive.
Yes, my friend.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, Tim, my friend. How are you, sir?
I'm good, brother.
From Singapore. First, I salute you for your true journalism and the truth. And our hearts goes with that lady also called from Alaska, if she's still listening. And we understand, unfortunately, Trump is only for him is money. And he cares for the pipeline more than people of Alaska. But after that, I wanted to introduce you because we have a candidate. If you go to Yang, YANG 2020.com, again, YANG 2020.com. Andrew Yang is going to be the bet for the next presidency as a Democrat, and he is very, very good because he knows in United States 60% of the jobs will be lost due to robotic and new automation, open source technologies, and he wants to give all Americans $1,000 universal basic income, regardless of whether you work or whether you don't work, or whether you you have your own pension from before. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets $1,000 a month. And and also he wants to give free Medicare for all, and also he wants to give free education for all. And how he is going to get the money? He is going to get the money by giving tax breaks to all this Amazon, Microsoft, and all other ones, in the block. So when they give them tax break, that tax break will give everybody $1,000. His video is there. I asked people to go there, and I hope personally, I view him as a very, very understanding person. He wants to make America great again, really. Not, unfortunately, Trump is just saying make America great, but he is the real globalist also, because he was in the G20 today. G20 is only 20 members, including Russia, China, and other ones, Saudi Arabia, that killed Jamal Khashoggi. Therefore, is just, he enters and he said, oh, Alaska earthquake 7.0, and he says pipeline. Yeah, he is, if he says no globalism, so then why he is there for? And he also canceled his, meeting with Putin, and it's very strange because right now NATO is sending high military through the Poland to Ukraine right now. So Ukraine is, it seems, a very hot spot, and with condition that Mr. Trump, President Trump, is not meeting with President Putin. Therefore, we have a very high situation there. And, this Saudi king was there today. In the G20, we saw many demonstrations, but they don't show it in the regular TV unless you go to democracynow.org. Democracynow.org is the place to watch the latest news without prejudice. So I appreciate your team from Singapore, and Suzette from United States, and my friends before that Alaska lady, he called and he brought some very, very great. Well, each one of the callers are great, and each callers should get 100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you with your call. And Yang 2020, Yang2020.com. Yeah, my friend from Singapore has been calling up for quite some time, and he's definitely earned the right to call up and let people know about this candidate who he's impressed with. So check him out and give him a listen. All right. Thank you, guys, and thank you for changing the subject too. I'm so passionate, man. I see so much injustice. This is my job. I see so much injustice. It's you see so much injustice. It's what's the saying, guys? That if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Well, I'm paying attention, yo, and I'm outraged. So, all right. Thank you for all my callers, and you're right. There are some excellent phone calls. Excellent phone calls, guys. 343. Did I talk to you yet? 343. I'm making sure I got you in. 343.
How you doing, my friend? This is Patrick Seguin from Kingston, Ontario. How you doing, my friend? How's the quitting smoking thing going for you?
Oh, good. No smoking, man. How you doing, Pat?
Doing all right. Surviving. There's some breaking news just now. George H.W. Bush has died at 94 years of age. So that is breaking news, apparently right now. There was a couple of things that happened this week with regards to GM. GM closed all of their manufacturing, some of their manufacturing plants here in Canada and in the United States. But also, too, I wanted your thoughts on the CNN firing of liberal pundit Mark Lamont Hill after his controversial remarks on the Israel-Palestine issue. I haven't heard your stance on that particular issue, because that is a very hotbed issue within America and the foreign policy about Israel and Palestine. So anyways, you have yourself a happy holidays and continue on with the good fight. And it was a good article about Abrams as well. Sorry about that. I should have not mentioned how great the last, but you did an awesome article and video there about Stacey Abrams. Anyways, have yourself a great week and continue on fighting the good fight. That's it.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Mark Lamont Hill, huh? Let me try to get through all the phone calls, man, just to make sure. George W. Bush passed away. Okay. Next, the other one, the older Bush. I'm sorry. What was it? George W. Not W. The Fitzgerald. Which? Someone give me the name of the Bush. HW. Thank you, HW. I'm sorry. No more donations. HW. Thank you. No more donations. George W. and HW. There you go. It's real simple. Someone just said something about the grabber. Gosh, man. 817. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name and what's your comment?
This is Ditto calling, and I've actually watched some of your stuff before, but this is the first time I've ever called in. I just have some comments to make about the United States. I think that the primary problem in this country is that the original and first injustice that has been done in this country has been to the indigenous peoples. And what is very, very troubling to me is that the Trump administration has an agenda to completely continue on with the genocidal attitude that has been in this country since Christopher Columbus came to the islands. And what had happened, which a lot of people don't really know, and it is not being talked about very much in the media, is that the first, basically tribe, we just finished Thanksgiving, and the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe has had their land taken. And the Trump administration is saying that they are not a tribe, according to the 1934 Reorganization Act, which is really ludicrous. And so all the things that are happening in this country, all the injustice, it doesn't matter what you look at, the basis for all of that injustice is what has been done to the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. And when I say Turtle Island, that is the complete Americas, from North America, South America, Central America, and the islands. And the injustice is continuing. And what really, really troubles me right now on the border, you got to think, all the indigenous peoples that lived on Turtle Island, they were here. There were no borders. There were no boundaries. There was no states. There wasn't anything like a country. Mm-hmm. And the resources were shared right from the tip of South America right to the North Pole. Mm. The resources were shared. And when the ships came, they were welcomed. And there's some very, very fundamental lies that have been the basis of the building of the Americas. Number one lie was that Christopher Columbus discovered America. No, he didn't. He landed, and what he called the people was Indios, I-N-D-I-O-S, which translated means people of God. But because of all the greed and they had to dish all of these beautiful people in order to steal, kill, rape, pillage, enslave. And so the first slaves of the Americas was the indigenous tribes. And that is the basis for everything that has happened. And really, until those wrongs are corrected, and until the immigrants from Europe start recognizing that they are not the true people of this land. Trump he's an immigrant. He's from an immigrant family. And the ones who belong here do not have the same attitude. I'm talking about the indigenous people. Mm-hmm. And so in terms of the indigenous peoples that are coming up from Guatemala and all these different places who are experiencing incredible trauma, that's a fulfillment of a prophecy, a Native American prophecy about the uniting of the condor and the eagle. And so this country has to stop with the genocide because it's continuing. And what is happening right now is very, very troubling, because the injustice that is continually committed against the indigenous peoples and the tribes is still going on. What happened in Standing Rock in North Dakota with the Dakota Access Pipeline, the tear gas and the water cannons and everything that was sprayed at, basically November 20th when it was freezing temperatures. And those injustices were glazed over by the majority of Americans, and they were human rights violations, and laws were broken. And until these issues are dealt with, there will never be any change in this country.
I'm going to have to leave it there, but I want to thank you for your phone call. I really appreciate you speaking boldly and speaking up for indigenous people and the suffering and what's going on now. And I love the way that you brought it full circle to what's currently happening and how it's continuing. And that's what people need to get. But you know what? I do believe, and I do it too. Sometimes I'm hard on us. I'm hard on the people. But the reality is, and I try to remind myself, so let me remind you as I remind myself, I think more people would be very empathetic and sympathetic if they knew. But as long as we have media that does not tell the stories, then the people won't know. See, I believe fundamentally, deep down, most people are good people. I just believe that, okay? And I believe given the information, they would behave as good people. But when the corporate media comes into play, and they keep that information from the people. Most people don't even know what Standing Rock was or what it is. I covered it extensively. In fact, I just bumped into yet another friend on Facebook, whose father is a chief, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the tribes, the tribes that was at Standing Rock or participated in Standing Rock, one of the Lakota tribes, and we're supposed to have a conversation. So I'm still engaged. I'm aware, but I'm also aware that, for instance, nobody in my family even knows what Standing Rock is other than my wife, maybe my son. You get what I'm saying? So the lack of exposure, the lack of our media telling the stories that need to be told is what gives us the impression that people don't care. I think people do care. So thank you so much. Obviously you do care. And thank you for sharing your story and sharing that information with the audience. I have one more phone call, if I'm not mistaken. 810, thank you for being patient, 810. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
My name's Katie Saban.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a comment to make about the General Motors thing. How come GM has Obama's ex-CIA agent working on the board? She just got hired in October 18th, and she is, and all of a sudden everything went crazy at General Motors. And she also works for the Kissinger Association. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, you know, I don't know if there's any connection between those things. I do know that I covered the GM situation and the closing of 150 factories, if I'm not mistaken, hundreds of thousands of employees laid off. And this is right after restructuring, after they would remain solvent because of Obama giving money to save GM and Ford and other auto manufacturers. So yeah, it's really disappointing that this is what's going on. I also know that Donald Trump is threatening to take away subsidies, some of the electric car subsidies that they had written into these agreements with the auto manufacturers. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. I know there are a lot of areas, a lot of states where there are a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and this is right at the holidays. And if I'm not mistaken, some of these shops have already closed, if I'm not mistaken, and some of them here in my home state of Maryland. So I'm very much aware of it. Like I said, I don't know if there's any connection between Obama's ex-CIA agent, but I mean, when you value money over people, this is what you get. Corporations, that's what they do. They value people, their shareholders and themselves and their CEOs. That's what they value. And it's disgusting, and it's, all those things. And that's the reason why, just having people criticize Bernie Sanders, and I've criticized them occasionally because I had to. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the fact that there are very few politicians on the national scale, on the national level, who are talking about income inequality. They're talking about the Walmarts, the Amazons, the Fords, the GMs. Who else is talking about that? We have Ro Khanna, we got Bernie Sanders. So we're in a tough place, brothers and sisters. We're in a tough place. We really are. I want to give a shout out to Richard Mays, Laura, and Costello West. Thank you so much. And I know Costello, you know what I'm talking about, Costello, when I talk about the lack of media. Like, that really burns me up. It really burns me up, Costello West, when I see a story. See, sometimes I get things wrong, but I don't get them wrong intentionally. Right? There are things I get wrong. But I don't have a staff of people sometimes I get burnt because I trust PBS once. I remember this. I trusted PBS one time. I was fooled by the name, But it only takes really one time to get really burnt. You're like, oh man, damn. Oh no, it was C-SPAN. I trusted C-SPAN. Who knew you couldn't trust C-SPAN? I thought they just hit record and let the people talk. So, the more I've become aware of the media games, the more upset I've become, Costello, because I'm telling you, man, if people knew what was going on, like most people have no idea how bad their water is at home. We had a lady call in and talk about mind control and low frequency sound waves. Sister, we got people with bad water. Right now. We got people in Alabama where they have raw sewage in their front lawns, and their children in the United States, in Alabama, are catching cholera. That's happening. Now, I know she was from Canada, But what I'm saying is, we got real ish going on all the time that you don't even have to debate if it's happening. We don't have to guess. We don't have to we suspend our disbelief. It's going down, and it's not even being publicized. It's no stretch of the imagination. We're not talking about finding Bigfoot, discovering extraterrestrials. I'm talking about water contaminated. People think Flint's got the worst water. Take your ass to Philly. Flint didn't even have the worst water, but they became the poster child for bad water. There are a lot of cities in this country that have water that's worse than Flint. No coverage. Where's the media on it? So my biggest bone to pick is with media. And for a very good reason. It's not because, I just want to beat up on the media. It's not that Donald Trump fake news. And even that has validity. Even Donald Trump's fake news has validity. His claims of fake news have more validity than you ever could imagine. Do me a favor, everyone watching this show, do me a favor. You called up, you said you enjoyed this content. You said you enjoy watching it. You appreciate it. Do me a favor, go to my YouTube channel, find my video on Stacey Abrams. Because it's not just about Stacey Abrams. In fact, most of it's not about Stacey Abrams, the person. It's about the media coverage of Donald Trump. And I discovered the level of fake news. And what that fake news really is. Not what Donald Trump points out, but the fake news, what it really is. So please go do that. It's a very well researched piece of work. I did an article, and as well, I wrote an article about it because it was so important to get this information out to you. Because unlike corporate media, I want you to be informed. So there's a video, and then there is an article. Share the content. Spread the word. All right, guys. I want to say happy holidays to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody who called up tonight. I want you to know, excellent calls, man. I want you guys to know, man, how floored I am. Because I'm off 3 hours sleep. I was up taking care of the baby. My daughter went to the doctor. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure she's going to be fine. I just got a lot of pain from the delivery. And we're just pulling together as a family to take care of family stuff. And I was beat, man. I was working on these videos, doing this editing all day, and then I fell asleep. I said,
90 seconds.
I fell asleep, guys. I said, God, I gotta do Freedom Friday. I was like, I'm gonna be late. You know what? I'm just gonna open up phone lines. And I want to let you know, guys, you came through for me, man. You came through for me. You did this, right? I said, you know what? I'm just gonna open up phone lines. I know I'm late. I'm gonna let the people talk. And my people, they called up and they talked about real stuff. They talked about real issues that the world needs to know about. And know this, all of you who called,
60 seconds.
Everyone who called up tonight, your voice was heard, not just on YouTube, not just on Facebook, but on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Blog Talk Radio, Twitch, and also it'll be heard on iTunes. So you called up tonight and you gave exposure to whatever it was that you shared. And thousands of people will become influenced or listen or hear the message that you gave today. That's the power of independent media. We don't screen calls here. People call up and they voice their opinions and they spread the word. And if it's important to you, believe me, it's important to someone else. Okay? So thank you for being a part of this. This is better than me talking and talking. To have different people call up from different places around the world is immeasurably, it's important. So thank you once again, guys. I appreciate it. That's it. Become a member of the 10 Black Wolfpack. You see the shirt? You see the thing back here? Do that. Become that. All right? If you can't become a member, it's okay. Share content. But you can become a member on YouTube. You can become a member on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Patreon. Patreon is patreon.com, Tips Take Live. And also, guys, once again, just have a great weekend. And just know that there are good people who care about you, what you're going through. We care about our neighbors. We care about the children. We care about our seniors. We care about our brothers and our sisters. We care if you're transgender. We care if you're gay or straight. We care if you're Christian or Muslim or atheist. We care if you're black or white or Indian or Asian or Native American or if you're Latino. We don't care. We care whether you are a veteran or not a veteran. Whatever you say, because wherever there's life, there's opportunity. Wherever there's opportunity, there's hope. So you're the hope, I'm the hope, we're all the hope, so let's all get involved. Remember, guys, like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Don't let them do it. And remember, this weekend, if you have a conversation with a friend or a family member and it starts getting political, and you're right there at that place, you know, that place where you want to let them have it because they don't know what they're talking about, or you know you got this wealth of information you can give them, but you're concerned about how they might take it. Err on the side of reason. There's something we do around here you may not have heard of. It's called sprinkle some facts on them. Just give them one little kernel of truth, something that's relevant to their lives. Maybe you'll tell them, hey, you know, our water's really bad. And a lot of children have neurological conditions because of the water that is coming through the pipes into their homes. There are children in Flint, Michigan right now who still have to take bottled water to school. And then you walk away. Oh, all this talk about Russia, but we can't even fix our water. All this talk from Adam Schiff, we can't keep, every day, what is it, 40 vets commit suicide? What's the number? I'm not sure of the number. But you want me to hear about Paul Manafort? I'm sorry. Every day this happens. That's it, just one thing. Maybe they'll look it up later. To be aware is a beautiful thing. It's also a heavy burden. But I thank you for being burdened along with me. And remember, smile a little bit this weekend. Smile a little bit. Have some good times if you can. I don't want to be a downer, but I do want you to know you have a responsibility. It's your responsibility at this point to educate other people. And as I say, do so smartly, do so wisely, and never do it to demean or belittle other people, because at one point you didn't know shit either. You were just as dumb as they are. And so somebody had to help you. Somebody had to help me. So let's just help one another. That's it, guys. I'm going to shut up. I appreciate you. I'll see you again. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up as Real Tim Black on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as Tim Black at Night. And until we talk again, I love you. Be safe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Blog Talk Radio people.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
This show is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site that does not steal your data. Go to justinform.com, become a member today.
Freedom Friday by my man Tim Black. He's so great, so fantastic, top-notch guy. Everybody's talking about it. He gives you the hard truth and nothing but the truth, so help him God. He's a fantastic guy. He's not fake news like CNN or MSNBC.